Hello, friends. Happy Friday. I hope you're safe and well and warm wherever you are. I am already over winter. Part of that is because it's just so gross outside. We were frozen over all of last week. Wintry mix, they called it. Ice, sleet, snow. Just a mess. It was dangerous. It was uncomfortable. Well, that thawed, and we actually had a couple of nice days. Sunny temperatures were warm enough that all of that thawed, which meant a lot of water, a lot of mud. Um, and again, just not pleasant at all. Hello, Adam Sky. How are you? I'm glad you stopped in. Yes, give Buddy a pat for me, and I'll see you in a little bit. Um, so we had a couple of nice days, and then lo and behold, 2 days here, we had significant thunderstorms. Like I told Richard at one point when I got up in the night after being awakened by a particularly loud clap of thunder. I have blackout curtains in the bedroom, so I didn't see the light. Of course, the dogs had been stressed all night because we could hear the thunder in the distance before it made its way to us. But I went out to check because, loud sounds like that, I mean, it was bad, can spook equines, and I was concerned about Cabo and Delilah. It was pouring rain. So I told Richard, I went out, and some of the lightning I saw just standing on the back porch, shining the flashlight, trying to see what Cabo and Delilah were doing. It was dangerous. I mean, I could not have gone out there. I don't know what I could have done if they were in some kind of trouble because it was not safe to be out. The lightning was very close, very powerful. And I told him it looked like something out of that Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but hey, Stephen at Papa's Kitchen, thanks for being here. But that movie, the aliens come down in bolts of lightning, and so there's these dramatic scenes of this amazing lightning. I love a good lightning storm, but when you have outdoor animals, it's impossible to not worry about them. So I shined my flashlight. There were Cabo and Delilah peeking out of the front door of the barn. So at least they were staying inside. But as I was watching, one big strike and clap happened, and they took off running out of the barn. And all I could think was, please don't jump the fence. Cabo tore one of his legs up one 4th of July because he got spooked by fireworks. It was probably his first 4th of July here because he has since grown to understand, I think, what those sounds are. But he tried to jump the barbed wire fence on the back pasture, on the west side of the back pasture, and just sliced one of his back legs open. So I always worry about that if there's a lot of really powerful thunder to accompany lightning during a storm. Hello, P-Hop. Thanks for being here today. So I am going to go over channel stats real quick, and then we're going to bring our first guest up for the day. That'll give her a little time to get ready and arrive. Hello, Brittany at Flannel Hill Farm. How are you? So let me pull up my subscriber growth page. That's what I call this spreadsheet, in case you guys have ever wondered about that. I'm going to share my screen. Let's hope I'm a little more proficient at sharing my screen this week. And let's get this so that it doesn't have so much stuff on the, well, that didn't work, did it? All right, so we'll scroll. This week, I thought I'd make it even easier. Hello, Vicki Lund, Dr. Lund, Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund. How are you? The green cells indicate channels. I mean, you can look at it and do that math anyway, but I just thought it might streamline it and make it, this part of it, go a little faster if I color coded them. So the green cells indicate where channels have gained some subscribers in the last week. The yellow cells indicate where they're holding steady at whatever their number was last week. And the dark orange red are channels that have lost some subscribers in the last week. One of them, it's real interesting to me that they've lost subscribers because I think it may kind of tie into something I've shared with you guys before, because this is a very popular channel. They've done well. They've been growing nicely. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So Rooted in Texas, up by 3. Ordered Steps is holding steady at 198. My friend Kashi Chris at Mind Forked has gained 6 subscribers. My friend Byron at 12 Stones Ranch has lost, a handful of subscribers. So this is one example. Hey, Chuck at Life with Belinda and Chuck. I'm guessing that's you. I hope Belinda is still recovering nicely and getting closer to 100% functional. So I know Byron has really focused just on doing live streams once or twice a week lately and not putting out videos, creating videos. And I just think that really can play a part in growth. My friend Joe Hupp in Australia holding steady at 288. My friend Nick, Texas neighbor of ours, has gained a subscriber. My friend Weave across the pond is holding steady at 3,100 something. My friend Tiffany at Mudda Mascara Homestead, it looks like she's lost a subscriber in the last week. I did get a text message from her today. I sent a handful of text messages out today for friends of mine that I have not seen putting up content recently. And you never know. And it doesn't hurt to just drop a note and say, I'm thinking of you. I hope everything is okay. So I did hear back from Tiffany. She's gone back to work, so she doesn't have a whole lot of time to devote to the channel right now, but she does plan to be back. And she did say she missed all of us. So be thinking of her. My friends, Texas neighbors, Ryan and Devin at Our New Land are up to 905 this week. Here's the channel in particular that I was talking about that has lost some subscribers this week after a really nice, steady growth spurt. But they've been traveling. And so all they've been publishing is the live streams of their road trips. Not that those haven't been popular, but they have lots of content on the channel, how to make jams and jellies. And they're not really homesteaders. They don't have a big batch of land that they can grow stuff on. But I'm just curious to see this drop because it's the first drop I can ever think of seeing at their channel. And I think it just seems too coincidental that it's, they've been traveling and only been live streaming from the road and their stops during their travels. But go over, give them a little boost. Let's get them back up to where at least they were last week. My friend Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead has gained 20 subscribers. My friend Robin at What the Flock is holding steady at 394. I sent an email to her. I haven't checked emails yet. I don't have a phone number for her, I don't think. To check on her as well, because I haven't seen any new content going up in about a month, I want to say. And she had been very steadily and frequently uploading videos. So hello, Joe Hupp. We just talked about your channel and your subscriber count. How are you? Good day, I should say. So I'll wait and give you an update if I hear back from her. My friend Lee at First Floor Audio. Oh my gosh, guys, see, look how much closer he is to 1,000. This is a great musician, a great channel. He's a wonderfully real and warm person. He connects with his audience beautifully, and he's just incredibly talented. So I still encourage you to go check out his channel and let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. My friend Katie at Mayfield Ranch, she gained a nice little batch of subscribers there. Check that out. My friend Rich at Rich New Design. Again, I sent an email to him. I know he posted back in October or November that he was having hardware issues. I took that to mean that maybe something had happened to his computer and that it would be a while before he was uploading again. But I haven't seen any new uploads. It's been probably 2 or 3 months since I've seen any new uploads. He did a lot of live streaming. Haven't seen any live streams. Again, I haven't checked email, so he may have sent back a message to let me know how things are going. But I worry when I don't see you guys, you content creators, when I don't see you putting up stuff, especially if you've been putting up stuff frequently and consistently over time, I do worry. When it doesn't seem like it's the regular pattern, I do worry. Back to Country Homestead, our Texas neighbors Jeff and Lorena have gained subscribers. Ronnie and Brittany, our California friends, have gained some subscribers. And they have a new video, I think it's new, that just went out. I guess every year they have to prepare the sites for their loofahs. Brittany is the loofah lady at theloofalady.com. And they were going through, I guess, with like a blowtorch. I didn't watch the video. I saw the thumbnail and it's on my watch later list. And they're burning the parts of the property where they grow the loofahs. So I thought, wow, they could pay, or they could have people pay them, right, to come out and use a blowtorch and burn stuff, right? Doesn't that seem like it might appeal to somebody? So they are continuing to grow. Ashley at CNC Farm, look at that, another 60 something subscribers just in the last week. My friend John at Home Bartending with John he gained a subscriber. I think he reviewed an Italian beer this week. So again, lots of videos on my watch list that I haven't checked out yet. My friend Vicky Lund, who's in the chat today, and she has gained another 10 subscribers today. So y'all, that 1,000 is looming large for her too. My friend Adam Sky, who's here, he had to go walk Buddy, but I'm sure he'll be back in just a bit. It's dinner time there where he is. He's in the UK. He has also gained some subscribers. My friend Dino at the Late Late Horror Show is at 98,800 something subscribers this week. My friend Dawn Ray B is at 418. My friend Jen at Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve is at 724. Nancy, my friend at Our Treasured Home, is at 820. Fat Ninja DM is holding on to that 466. My friend David at Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion is at 1,930 something. Again, he had a 2,000 goal. It's coming quickly. And then I'm so excited to share with you. I shared in a live that Peter did last night that I was expecting to announce today that he hit 200,000, and that he did. So there will be a celebration stream at his channel. He gives away prizes. He's just very entertaining and educational and personable and knowledgeable. I'm watching several trials that he's covering right now. One of those being this Alex Murdaugh trial. What a crazy ride. I just feel so normal sometimes, y'all, when I watch some of this crazy stuff out there. Hello, there's Lee from First Floor Audio in the chat now. So check him out. Let's get him to 1,000. I would love to announce next week on the show that Lee has hit his 1,000 subscribers. That is doable. You guys can help that happen. Again, I feel really normal and functional when I watch some of the trials that he covers and learns about the people involved in these cases. Papa's Kitchen in the chat today is at 307. My friend Ralph is at 142. My friend Amanda is at 621. My friend Danielle at Danny Days Ahead, she's lost a couple of subscribers. Y'all can help get her back where she was. My friend John at Pedroza Travel has gained. Inquisitive Farm Wife is blowing and going, y'all. Look at that great increase for her. My friend David Hunt, another amazing musician. You've got to check him out. He heals people with his music, y'all. That's not an exaggeration. He has gained subscribers. Millionaire Paul, continuing the climb. What a fun channel. He teaches along with learning. So as he's learning, he's sharing what he's learning. So new channels can benefit a lot. And he's just a really fun and nice person. RichKatRanch, we are currently, I skipped my friend Tom Salta, game music scorer extraordinaire. He's at 780 today. We here at RichKatRanch are at 1,920 today. My friend Marion at Palma Pioneer Pantry is at 233. Look at that nice jump since last week. In backstage in the green room, I have the one and only Sparrow Spaulding, who is at 1,090 something subscribers today. And Flannel Hill Farm is also backstage. She's also in the chat. She is at 115 subscribers today. And then coming up in the next few shows, next week, we will visit with Kenny and Debbie from the Adventures of Kenny and Debbie. The following week, we will visit with Bearded Eagle. I've been connected with him on YouTube for a long time. Then my friend from Australia, Heather, from Come Hither with Heather, will be on the show on March 3rd. The macro photographer and pet photographer, Steve Robson, that I think I told you guys about last week, is scheduled now for the 10th of March. My friend Shane, an incredibly inspirational and motivational man, is on the show on the 17th of March. I have you in the column. Oh, let me scroll up more for the 24th of March because it's not booked yet. I just really encourage you, if you're a content creator, to please let me know if you would agree to be my guest. I'd love to introduce you to more people, get your name out there, give your little channel maybe a small boost. And then my friend Glenda at Grace and Fire is scheduled for the 31st of March. I have a lot of emails out still, so they're filling fast. I can always do 2 people on one show. So if there's a particular date coming up that'll work best for you and there's someone already scheduled, never fear. I can always make adjustments and we'll have 2 guests on that show. So I am going to now bring up Sparrow Spaulding. I'm so excited to introduce her to you. I'm going to change my little backdrop right quick. I really like, I've come to really enjoy creating backdrops that are specifically tailored to my guests. Sometimes it's based on something I already know about them or something from their channel that is significant. And sometimes I just, ask, is there something that you like? Is there something you'd like for me to incorporate? And so I hope Sparrow enjoys this backdrop that I have created for her. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see it, Sparrow. And you can tell me what you think. All right. And let's bring her up. Sparrow Spaulding, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, Kathy. How are you?
I'm good. So what's your weather doing today?
We are sunny and in the low 40s. Not
Oh,
bad.
okay. Yeah, that's about what it may be a little warmer than low 40s here, but I I just am so over the cold temperatures that it just seems too cold for me right now. So I like to start with a little set of questions related to content creators and their YouTube channels, but then there are some things that I'm really hoping you will share with us just about your work as a psychotherapist, as a nutritionist, as all the things I know you do that still help so many people. But if you're ready, I will fire off some questions. We'll just do kind of a lightning round. If it takes us off into a tangent, that's fine as well. But this just helps keep it, for me, a little more organized. And I cover things that I feel like my viewers like to know. So the first question is always, what motivated you to start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, a couple of things. I've been in my private practice for so long, first as a psychotherapist, and then I retired and did more coaching and consulting and nutrition. And, I can only help so many people in any given day. So I've really felt like, and then I turned 50 and I was like, you know what? I've got all of these years of experience and wisdom that I want to start passing on to as many people as who are interested in hearing it. So that's really where that came from, where that stemmed from.
All right. And obviously, that's still kind of your day job. I know you're retired officially you're a retired psychotherapist, right?
Yep. Mhm.
And yet that's still what you're offering. That's still what you do here. So I kind of still think that what you're doing now is your day job because you still teach us and coach through your videos.
Yeah, I love anything to do with wellness. Whether it's mental health, physical health, spiritual health, it's just really a huge passion for me. And so, yeah, I mean, when you retire from psychotherapy, uh, you know, even with coaching and consulting, of course, you still use your knowledge, your skills, everything you learned in practice and in textbooks. But now I can apply it in a bit of a different way. I'm not so constrained, and I can just sort of, just speak from my heart more and not have to be so PC all the time and have that therapist hat on, right? So it's kind of more fun, to be honest.
Good. So when you're not doing this, when you're not doing YouTube and coaching and helping people with food choices, what do you like to do? Do you have hobbies? Do you have other things that you devote time to?
Yeah, I mean, I love to write, so I'm writing my third. Well, I have a couple of books in the works right now. I have a book on wellness, but I also have a passion project, which is my first attempt at fiction. So I'm only about 10,000 words in, but it's coming along,
How
and it's
fun.
really really fun. So I do that. I play the piano and sing. Really just more for fun. I don't go out and do gigs these days or anything like that. But I do that, and I love to be out in nature, love to walk, hike, those kinds of things. Love to cook. So lately, my husband's been doing more of the cooking since I've had so much work. But I love to get in there at least once or twice a week and cook something wonderful. So yeah, lots of fun things.
So tell me, location wise, where are you located, and does anyone help you with the channel? Does anyone help with filming or editing or create ideas with you?
Yeah, I'm in a tiny Midwestern town in Nebraska, and my husband does all of it. So he films, he edits, he puts everything up on YouTube. He does thumbnail, he does everything. I help, but he's really the brains behind all of that.
Nice. When did you upload your first video to the channel, and what was the content? What was it about?
Gosh, I think it was several years ago. I think I did a book trail. Yeah, I did a book
Okay,
trailer
yeah.
for the first book. I think you saw that.
A
Yeah.
very fun book trailer. Yes, you guys have to check that out.
That was really fun. I wrote, directed, and starred in that, and, it was really, really fun. It was, like, just such a creative outlet.
Uh-huh. It really is cute. It's like too cute. What is something you always keep in mind when you are preparing for a video or creating the video in your head before you start recording or writing any scripts or whatever you might do as you get closer? What's the one of the primary things you keep in mind?
The biggest thing I keep in mind is just to be authentic, right? Um, just to give, my real world examples along with, maybe some psychology. I do a lot of research for my videos because, sometimes I'm like, well, this is just my armchair opinion, on this topic or this topic, but let me research and let me see what the research shows. And then I do a lot of research in my niche for what other people are saying, and then I try to talk about things that they're not saying. So I don't really want to try to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of people out there in my genre saying a lot of wonderful things. I try to talk about the things that maybe people sometimes forget to talk about, forget to mention.
That's a great lesson for any content creator. I think that's a great takeaway to study what the other channels in your, you
Mhm.
know, category are doing and plan around that. Offer something beyond that. Have you had any crazy YouTube moments? Any weird interactions with people in comments or strange emails or
It's so funny that you asked because that just happened to me the other day for the first time. There was a gentleman who kept sending me really nice messages. They were a little over the top, and then one day he started sending really mean messages. And I thought, okay, this doesn't feel good. So I did a little research, and he had about 20 different channels on YouTube, 20 different channels on Instagram or accounts on Instagram, 20 different accounts on Facebook. He looked to not be a safe person. He looked like maybe he lived in an institution or something. And so I had to spend the whole morning blocking each and every one.
oh, wow.
And so I thought, okay, well, this is my first, probably not last experience like that.
Wow. So raise your hand in the chat if you've had a similar experience. I am very fortunate, I guess, because I haven't had anything like that.
Good. I
Yeah.
you know, I talk a
Knock
lot
on
about
wood.
narcissism, right, on my channel, narcissistic abuse and abuse recovery, and I think it triggers a lot of people. I think it can be really triggering.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, and, I'm
Could
pretty
be.
outspoken and direct, so I think, I probably do trigger people who have some degree of narcissism, uh,
Interesting.
and that's okay. I own that. That's fine.
So that's probably among your least favorite things about YouTube then, is that there are going to be people like that you're going to be interacting with, whether you are prepared for it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I've only started really focusing on this channel in October, like putting out content regularly. And that was really, there's been a couple of negative comments, but overwhelmingly, it's been so wonderful.
Nice.
It's a nice community, a lot of great feedback, people asking questions or giving suggestions on, hey, can you talk about this or that, which I love.
Yes. And I want to say hello to Cassie at Forensic Mystics. Thanks for being here. And thank you for that wonderful stream last night, FYI. What's your favorite part of YouTube so far?
My favorite part would honestly be the people, the community. and hearing other people's stories. I love hearing other people's stories. That's why I went into psychotherapy, and I love helping. I love being able to give words of advice, or just me basically just encouragement too.
Yep.
Like, hey, great job with that, or congratulations, or I'm so sorry that you went through that, some compassion and empathy. So it's definitely the people.
Nice. So I know already that you have dogs or a dog, right?
Three dogs.
Okay. What kinds of dogs?
So our baby is a wire fox terrier,
Okay.
and our older dogs are a golden doodle and a German shepherd.
Okay. And how old are those older ones?
They're both 11.
Okay. So you guys know already, right, that I feel very connected to her even just through those dogs. So we're a German Shepherd family. We have 3 German Shepherd dogs. The oldest is about 10 and a half. It's guesswork. They're all rescues. So
Okay.
sometimes it's hard to know when you get them as adults already how old they really are. But I that's a connection I have with you there, along with some of the other things that you're sharing on your channel.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh boy, I would say a nice combination of both. I'm
Okay.
very happy out and about and meeting people and talking with people, and I'm also very happy curled up by myself with a book, or just alone at my computer writing or creating something. So I don't know. What about you, by the way? Are you more extroverted or introverted, or?
Um, I think I'm more extroverted, but the older I get, the more I really treasure just downtime away. I don't socialize as much as I used to. And again, I think that's just because I recharge, by just having a little time where I'm not on. I don't have to be on and engaged, and
Sure, sure.
it's just again, just a some downtime for me. Do you like to travel, and do you have a favorite place, a place that's on your bucket list you haven't visited yet?
Sure. Yeah, we love to travel. We this past fall we went to Rome in Italy. Went to a couple different places there, which was super fun. Loved the history, loved the people. Uh, I would say Brazil is on the list. Definitely some other European countries. I've only been to France and Italy, so we definitely want to branch out and do more. My husband loves Germany. I haven't been there. So yeah, I definitely would love to do some more European travel and some South American travel.
Oh, yes, I've been to Santiago, Chile.
Oh wow, what was that like
Yes, and
for
it was not what I was expecting. I don't think I expected it to be so European and so modern. I mean, it has a lot of great old architecture and history and
you?
great stories, but very sophisticated. There's a subway there. Who knew? It's just, I mean, it rivals the New York City subway for sure. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. The landscape is amazing. We did a bus trip down the coast and went to Valparaiso. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. And it was just not what I was expecting. But then, once you kind of get an image in your head, and then when you see the real thing, you kind of forget what it was you thought you were going to see.
Mhm.
But I just remember being surprised that it was very European. And
Wonderful.
so I highly encourage anyone that hasn't been to go and check it out. The culture there is amazing. And again, the architecture is just breathtaking. So,
Goodness, I
yeah,
bet.
so move that up on your bucket list.
I sure will.
Um, if you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Hmm.
This
Famous.
question came up as maybe some of you remember a couple weeks ago I did our little random question generator app, and that question came up, and I thought, what a great question. What a great question to help people focus on, what is their gift? What is
Yeah. I guess I have two answers for you. Uh,
Okay.
Number one, I would say if I could be famous, I would love to be famous for my theory, facet theory,
Mhm.
because I think it could help so many people. And that was, the topic of my second book, Uncaged, right? So facet
Right.
integration, if everybody, who's ever experienced trauma could go through that process of facet integration, I think they would just feel so much better, so much more whole and integrated. And I would love to leave that gift, right?
Nice.
So the other thing I would say is A lot of my friends think I'm funny, and I do have kind of a naughty side, like a naughty humor side, and so, if I as a matter of fact, I do have a little side project. I'm working on a one-woman show, and, and I want it to be equal parts funny, but moving emotionally, and I want it to really make people think, and it's definitely a few years out, but, I love to make people laugh.
Nice. Those would be great things to bring you fame. And hello, Junkyard Gamer. Thank you for being here today. Um, what do you watch most on YouTube?
YouTube. Huh, that's a good question. I I definitely, like I said, watch other people in my genre. I've been checking out your channel, which is so fun because I love animals. Love, love, love them. And by the way, you will get a kick out of this. So I had 2 ducks several years ago, 2 Pekin ducks. And this was not my idea, by the way. It was my husband and my stepson. We were at Tractor Supply and they begged me, please, can we have these ducks? And my husband said, well, they'll grow up and fly away. And I said, oh, they will? All right, sure. Well, I didn't know Pekin ducks don't fly. And so we had these 2 little ducks in our backyard. They were so cute. My husband built a home for them, and they were a little boy and a little girl. Little Finn and Feathers were their names.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, Feathers met with a fox.
Oh,
Uh, However, so Finn, I didn't know what to do with him, but I was like, he was devastated.
yeah.
He lost his life. I had them for about 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, well, let me bring him in and make him an inside duck. So I got ducky diapers and all this stuff. And he wasn't having the ducky diapers. And so I said, I don't know what to do with this guy. The dogs, I couldn't really have him around the dogs, right? For obvious reasons, especially the German. She was way too interested in him. And so I found an animal rescue right outside of Dallas, and my husband drove him all the way there. So he actually lives in Dallas. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to let you know. But I researched and I found a place that takes, ducks. And he met a new wife the very next day.
Uh-huh.
Now it's Finn and Olive.
Uh-huh.
And we check on him, and he's doing great. But yeah, I loved having ducks.
The dogs are carrying on, y'all, because Richard just got home. So hopefully they'll calm down here in just a minute. Do you watch much TV or other streaming services? Guys, it's fine. You're fine.
No, not a whole bunch, but my husband never watched the show Frasier. And so we have been watching that show. We're in, I think, season 10, and I love it. We just laugh. We watch it almost every night. We watch an episode or 2, and we just laugh, laugh, laugh so much. I love that show, and they're rebooting it. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, well, I came across, and I guess it's probably because they're rebooting it that I've had some suggestions come up in my YouTube recommendations. Bloopers from the show, bloopers from Frasier.
Oh,
And that's fun. I mean, the show itself is so funny, but the
yeah,
bloopers
I'm
are
gonna look that up.
even funnier. Yeah.
So fun. All right, good. I'll check those out.
Yes, and yeah, and do you know where it's going to stream? Where the reboot's going to air?
I don't know. I thought I read something that said Paramount Plus or something like
Okay.
that. I have
Okay.
no idea.
And I don't remember what network carried the show back when it carried the show.
I sure don't either.
We have Paramount Plus, so I'll be watching for it there if that's where it's going to be.
Oh,
Do you have goals for the channel, or where do you see the channel in 6 months, say?
I wish I knew. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I hope it continues to grow. That would be so lovely. And I really want to branch out into other areas of wellness. I mean, I've had a career now, almost 30 years of working in mental health and working in nutrition. And so there's lots and lots of things to talk about. And eventually, I do want to do a cooking show. So my husband and I just bought a big old house. I don't know if I shared that with you. Did I?
I don't think so.
We bought a big old house built in 1895, and we're gonna move in a couple months. We're already doing just a little bit of remodeling, but it's gonna take a while. But it's got a great big fun old kitchen, and I thought, what a neat place to do a cooking show.
Oh
So
gosh, yes.
I think I'd like to do something like that on
And
YouTube.
you know what? Your viewers might enjoy if you wanted to throw up a video every now and then of the renovations, or
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think people relate to that. It's something a lot of us have had to do, and if someone hasn't tackled it yet, maybe it would motivate them to see how things might be coming along for you. So
Yeah.
that's something I would be interested in watching. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and now let's see. So the last question I'll ask before I would really love you to share some information on facet integration and your facet theory approach to treatment is okay, last question. What you're stranded on an island,
Mhm.
what three things do you want to have with you?
Oh my goodness. I would say my husband first because he's so handy. He can build or fix anything.
Mhm.
So, and he's really fun company too. So I would say number one, my husband. Number two, let's say, well, definitely, let's say, Thai food,
Okay.
my favorite. I need to have that if I'm stranded. And number three, music.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Mhm.
So I am going to turn the screen and the floor over to you completely. I really, really am excited about the little I know about facet theory right now, just from the couple of videos that you've touched on it. I love that idea. It resonates with me for many, many reasons. I know there are going to be other people that, whether they share openly about trauma or their pasts or not, it could be such a blessing. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'd love for you to give us the scoop on that.
All right. Well, and first of all, how much time do we have, Kathy?
I can keep you can have another half hour. I've got Brittany backstage, but I think if we can finish up close to 3 o'clock, it'll
About
still work.
sounds good. All right. So, well, with facet theory, I actually came across this theory based on my own trauma. And I grew up with a lot of trauma, sadly, like most of us. But one of the biggest traumas was that I was kidnapped at age 3 by my biological father. And it was a violent kidnapping. And he came up from behind. I didn't see him. And he threw me in the back of a car. And then I didn't see my mom again for over a year. And I'm still, by the way, I'm still healing through that trauma because as much healing as I've already done, then I turn a corner and I find something else that, is happening in my life as a result of that. And so it wasn't until, I mean, I did a lot of healing work. I wrote my first book, which was a memoir of my childhood. And during that time, I healed a lot, purged a lot, told stories that I had never really told anyone. And that was just so amazing. But there was still something I couldn't get a hold of. I had done so well in several areas of my life, school, work, building a practice, doing lots of great things, developing myself. Um, but I was still having issues with relationships. I was still having issues with just, I wouldn't say self sabotage, but kind of in a way, just poor decision making in some areas, maybe some impulsivity. And it wasn't until the quarantine, and we were sort of in lockdown, that I said, you know what, I really need to look inside and figure out what is going on. I had recently had a lot of change in my life, a lot of good change. I got married and I moved across the country. I was living in Houston at the time. So you'll also hear me say y'all once in a while, even though I'm an East Coaster. I lived in Houston for a while. So I moved across the country, got married, became a stepmom. And then right after that, literally a month or two, we have these lockdowns. And so I was kind of struggling. And so when I really went inside is when facet theory was kind of born. And I said, you know what? There's more than one me inside. There's the me that's super conscientious and has this great work ethic and is very strong and capable. And then there's this me that likes to mother everybody and take care of everybody. And then there's this me who likes to be naughty and have fun and have a good time and make people laugh. And what if I really got to know all the parts of myself, all of them? And I just started writing and I just started looking, and there was a lot. And what I realized throughout developing the theory was that there's different um, sort of developmental milestone stages that we go through in life. And the first stage that I uncovered was about age 3 to 5. And, we're learning a lot about the world at that age. A lot of things are happening. And of course, we're little sponges, we take it all in. And based out of that state, at that stage and every other stage, we learn things about the world. And sometimes we learn good things, but sometimes we develop false narratives about the world. And we carry those into the next phase. So I broke down the theory. I was like, okay, the first phase is about age 3 to 5. Second is like it's sort of grade school, like maybe 8 to 10-ish. Third phase is like adolescence, maybe 11 to 13 or 14. And then there's a teenage stage, and then there's a late adolescent, early adult stage. And a lot of milestones happen, right? And my theory is if we experience trauma in and around these different phases, these stages, then we're going to, a lot of times, the psyche will develop what I call a spin off facet of the personality. So, not really an alter ego, but a bit of a personality. So, for instance, a worker bee or the mom. And I guess in a way, sometimes they're like archetypes, but they're different also because each person is unique. Now, with archetypes, it's like putting everybody in a box. But with facets, everybody's facets are a little bit different or a lot different because we're all unique individuals. And so I do see certain themes, like sometimes we'll have a rebellious facet, sometimes we'll have, like I said, that workaholic. Sometimes, addictions come out of a facet. So you might have a person who is an addict, but maybe, it's one part of their personality that's an addict, and the other part, is over here thinking or doing something else. And when I really was able to break this down for myself, I have to say I was shocked and amazed because for me anyway, it was the missing link. Okay, I no wonder I keep doing this over here, but when I meet somebody and start to date them, it's my inner 14-year-old who's doing that, or my inner, uh, you know, 8-year old who's wanting to be the rebellious person and maybe dating the person that they shouldn't date, or that kind of thing. And so what I really did was analyzed each part, each facet, and said, okay, where do they go off the rails? What false narrative caused them to develop? What trauma? What are they protecting me from? What are they holding? And some of those facets were holding trauma, were holding rage or anger, were holding sadness, were holding, all different kinds of things. And then I had to look and say, okay, what are the needs of each of these facets? And by and large, all of their needs are to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, and to be parented. And that was the piece. So then when I said, okay, what do I do with these? Basically, what I call them is my orphan children that still live within me, and their little spin-off personalities or facets, like I call them. And by the way, I came up with the term facet because I love the concept of a diamond or a gemstone having facets, right? Facets are, they're cut into the stone to help reflect the light. But when we find the stone is cloudy, it's dirty. We have to do a lot to it. We have to shine it up. And we're kind of like those gems. We just have to shine ourselves up, right? We have to, remove the rust and the dirt, right? Which is the trauma and the sadness and all of that. And really figure out how to give these inner facets what they need. And how I did that, by the way, was step 3. So, step 1's identifying your basic developmental facets, like the age ranges. Step 2 is figuring out how many and what are the developmental facets, or the spin-off facets that came from those developmental facets. And then step 3 is to consciously create a new facet, because the other facets were created unconsciously, right? We consciously create a new facet that I call the inner CEO or the inner superhero. And that is the facet that manages all of the other facets. So that's really your inner superhero. And we give him or her a name, a description, a list of character traits. and we detail out how they're going to help us and what they're going to do to to let the other facets feel heard, feel seen, but yet also parent them, because a lot of times they need a bit of discipline. They need, so for instance, if my inner 8-year-old, by the way, which is the one that loves junk food, wants to grab a bunch of chocolate, that my inner CEO says, no, 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 no. What do you really need right now? And then, okay, my inner 8-year-old's like, I've been sitting at this desk for too long. I need a walk. I need some time in nature, right? But I'm trying to placate, I'm trying to, medicate that feeling of antsy or whatever by grabbing the chocolate. And sometimes it's okay to have a chocolate or two, but if it's up to my 8-year-old, she'll have 10 chocolates. She doesn't discern like that. We're teaching her. That's the other main job of the inner superhero, is to educate the other facets and bring them into present time. Because when I discovered these facets, they were all frozen in time, and a lot of them were angry, uh, sad, irritated, depressed, whatever. And it's the inner superhero's job, which now is just me, right? Because the inner superhero is us all along. It's the higher version of us, right? It's the us that we can be when we deal with everything. So we consciously create him or her, and we educate those other facets. We bring them into present time, and we honor them. We love them. We do all the things, but sometimes we have to tell them no. Sometimes we parent. And this has just been so eye-opening for me, by the way. And so the cover of the book, I'm like, how do I even pick a cover for this kind of a book? But I came across this photo and I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes, this little boy, I believe, was like a World War One prisoner, prisoner of war. And those are the facets inside staring out, right? Hear me, see me, love me. Uh, it just grabbed me. I was like, that has to be the book cover. So this has been so life altering for me. So I started developing this, several years ago, and then I started to use it in my practice. And I just, before I had the book, before I even wrote anything other than my notes, uh, I started just giving assignments to clients, like, hey, let's talk about who you were age 3 to 5, and what did you like? Did you like stuffed animals? Did you like reading books? And what happened to you during that time? How were you navigating through the world? Were you shy? Were you outgoing? On and on and on. And then, I would give them more assignments and so forth. And now I have it all in the book. So the book is also a workbook, and there's lots of areas. We go through all the steps, and there's lots of room in here to fill everything out. It's pretty great. So, and by the way, I have my publishing consultant to thank for this. He formatted the book. His name is Robin. He's really amazing. If anyone out there is looking to self-publish, please let me know. I can give you his info. He's in England, and he is fantastic. He's done both my books. Super reasonably priced, by the way, too. But he formatted it. I said, I want this to also be a workbook so people can just write in the book. I think that's important. And, sometimes it's great to type. It's fine to type. But sometimes there's just something a little more healing that happens when you actually pick up a pen and write. So I started using this with my clients, and just saw amazing, amazing results. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, this explains so much!" And then every week we just check in. Okay, well, how are your facets, and who's rebelling against this, or who's happy about that, and just really owning the parts of you, which is so much fun. And what I do every day as part of my morning practice, and I did put a copy of it in the book, is I have a sheet that I filled out with my inner superhero in the middle, and all of the other facets around here, the developmental facets and the spin-off facets. And I give the spin-off facets names. Uh, and I list out what some of their basic needs are. Now, these are more surface needs, but things that they need to get through the day or get through the week, right? Help with projects, time to work out, time to laugh and be fun, time with friends, someone to love and nurture, uh, fun and adventure, whatever the case. So ultimately, like I said, the deep needs are to be seen, heard, loved, and parented. But some of these surface needs are really important. And so every morning I look at this as part of my morning practice and say, okay, whose needs get met today? Can I meet this need? Can I meet that need? Okay, we can get some workout time. Uh, yeah, I'm seeing Schulte's comment here, telling your inner 8-year-old, yeah, you need to go to bed. That is a huge one for me too, by the way. Yeah, because there's that rebellious facet that wants to stay up, and you have to say, oh, I know you want to stay up, and I know you want to do this, but we have to get sleep, right? We have to be able to function. So important. But yeah, looking at these needs, the needs for healthy food, the need for connection, all kinds of things. But I do look at this every day because I find if I don't, then some of the more powerful facets within me will take over and I'll work too much and I won't get that walk in the afternoon or I won't get, that coffee or tea with a friend. And so it really, really helps me to have that sheet and to look at it regularly and to talk to the facets regularly. And it brings so much awareness because a lot of times we have behaviors, but we don't know why we have them, right? And the scientific community tries to say, it's your nervous system or it's your brain or it's this or that. Well, sometimes, yeah, but sometimes it's the psyche. Sometimes it's what we've developed and what we have lived through. And there's patterns that are repeating, and all kinds of things. So I think this one of the things I love the most about facet theory is that it brings just so much awareness to the self. And, with that awareness, then we can make the changes that we want to make. We can live just a much more joyful life, a peaceful life, and we don't have to be the victim of our trauma forever. We don't have to serve a life sentence for something that, wasn't even ours to begin with half the time. It's not right, it's not fair. But, if you think about if you grew up with abusive parents or dysfunctional parents, or if you grew up in poverty, if you grew up abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, otherwise. If you just grew up with tragedy, with loss, these things stick with us and they stay with us and they turn us into the people that we become. But it doesn't mean that, because we lived such a horrible start to life or we had horrible things happen to us, it doesn't mean that we're doomed. And that was a saving grace for me because I thought, after all the counseling I'd had personally, after, all the self help books I've read, the workshops I've attended, and I have flown across the country and gone to lots of workshops for myself and also for clients. But at the end of the day, I was like, am I ever going to get rid of this anxiety? Am I ever going to overcome what happened to me? And facet theory was just, for me, it was the missing link. Oh, are you muted? I think you're muted.
Oh yes, I was wanting to safeguard against dogs barking if
Oh,
if
it's
that
fine.
came up. It's fascinating to me what you're sharing here, and I know I've commented on a video, at least one of your videos, how emotional it sometimes makes me to just listen to what you're talking about in the video. And so as I'm listening to you talk today, a couple of things came to mind. The first being that as you're describing some of the facets that are relevant to you, I'm like picturing myself at these ages. I'm picturing that little person or that teenage person and realizing that I think even if there's not a big struggle still happening for someone, it might really be therapeutic to go back and
Mhm.
think on those things and revive your passions, or give yourself a pat on the back for things that are meaningful to you, or that things that you did well. And there's just so much encouragement that can come from this. But I also wonder how this ties into that concept that most of us are familiar with of baggage,
Mhm.
because that word baggage seems to have such a negative connotation,
Yeah.
and yet the baggage is typically related to those same concepts,
Mhm.
the events of childhood that resulted in trauma, the things that we may not even consciously realize we're still carrying around, and they're still interjecting themselves into relationships and work situations and money choices and all of that. But that word baggage just makes it sound so inhumane, and so I'm loving that. But I'm wondering, what is your take on how those two things, how does baggage, that concept of baggage,
Mhm.
fit?
Mhm. Well, I really, I resonate with what you said. It does feel a bit dehumanizing. I think what happens is if we don't resolve it somehow, it turns into baggage that we carry with us, right? And I wrote something the other day, and I can't even remember what it was now, but I said, sometimes we wear our sad feelings tucked away, almost like in a locket around our neck, right? That was my idea of baggage, like something so personal and precious, but we carry our sad feelings like that sometimes. But I tend to like baggage. Here's why. I love baggage because once you really sift through it, you find a lot of treasures. And those treasures make you a lot of times just so much more resilient, skillful, just there can be a lot of strength in that baggage, if that makes any sense. And I could just, for myself personally, I mean, all the things that I went through in life, I think just made me, when I was able to sift through them, it was like, okay, this facet of my personality, which I have one, I call her the fierce one. She can she can go to bat and fight, and she can be very outspoken and all that. And at first I thought, oh gosh, I really need to tone her down. I was like, actually, no, I don't. I like her. She's very assertive. She's very well thought out. Maybe she wants to be a bit too aggressive, so we can, you know, I call her also sometimes the inner junkyard dog. Sometimes we gotta, let her settle down a bit. But I thought back of how many times she truly helped me in my life and other people going to bat for others. It's like, I'm not gonna call that baggage. I'm just gonna train her a little bit to do her thing, but do it maybe with a little more finesse.
Yeah, is she the one then that people criticize saying you need to watch your tone? When peop
Um, yeah,
Somehow I'm connecting that to times when, you know, someone has said that to me. It's the way you said it. You're right, but it's the way you said it. I just can be really passionate about it, or it's very
yeah,
important to
yeah.
me,
Yeah,
and
that's funny. I I don't know if I've ever really had a tone. I think my tone is either really like this or it's quite vicious. And these days I don't really get quite vicious, but back in my 20s and 30s, I sure did. I sure did. Uh and I think what a lot of times people get intimidated by is the fact that I don't let things go if they're important. So sometimes people just wanna be let off the hook, and I just say, "No, no, no, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's not okay." And people get very intimidated by that.
yeah, yeah. So I wanted to ask a couple of things
Yeah.
about, tell us the truth about caffeine.
Oh, caffeine.
Uh-huh.
Oh my. I wish it weren't evil. It is, sadly, it's not good for us. The biggest thing, there are a couple big things about caffeine. Caffeine makes us bloated. So everybody says it's a diuretic, and technically it's true. So caffeine takes water out of your cell, so it dehydrates your cell, but it puts water in your interstitial fluid. So that's the fluid in between your cells. So you're going to be dehydrated and bloated at the same time, which is not good. So caffeine merely makes us carry water weight. And on top of that, it raises blood sugar. So if you're insulin resistant, if you have any excess weight that you want to lose, caffeine is not your friend. It fills up your adenosine receptors, which your adenosine is your wake sleep chemical. It's your calming chemical, and so when you drink caffeine, your adenosine has no place to go. So over time, your body will start producing less and less of it. Caffeine takes minerals out of your bones, uh, calcium, magnesium, those kinds of things. And so it can lead to osteopenia or contribute to osteoporosis. And there are some people who have a genetic defect in there. It's the CYP1A1 or B1. I think it's 1A1. CYP1A1 enzyme, and they don't metabolize caffeine very well. So those people will typically know because they'll say, "Oh gosh, if I have a cup or more than a cup, I get very jittery." Those people are not getting rid of caffeine very easily, so they should not use much at all, if any. The other thing with coffee, unfortunately, is usually where most people get their caffeine. Coffee is laced with heavy metals like cadmium. And now a bunch of research is coming out showing that dark chocolate is laced with cadmium. Sadly, I know. So it must just be the processing. It's the cocoa bean or the cacao bean and the coffee bean, the way they process it. So there's a lot of sad stuff there. And then coffee also is the most heavily sprayed crop in the world. So it's just riddled with pesticides. Even if it's organic, they cross contaminate quite a bit. So when I work with people nutritionally, I do take them off of caffeine. And 60% of my clients grumble in the beginning, but then after a couple of weeks, they go, "Oh no, I feel so much better." And we get through the headaches, we get through the fatigue, and then I support their adrenals and put them on some stuff, and then they feel really good. And what they also love is because we're getting rid of caffeine, the weight poor. I mean, it just kind of falls off, which is so nice.
Nice. I only asked about that because it was very eye-opening and almost shocking to me when I watched whichever video that you talked about caffeine. And I thought, wow, I'm glad I know this now. That's a part I think I've also shared with you that there some of your content, I watch it and just feel dumb. I just feel stupid that
Oh
any and no, I just mean stupid that I allowed myself in the past to get involved with people that were so just dangerous, you know, but that's balanced by just feeling so grateful that you're there and there are sources of information to teach me about that. I'm just really interested and fascinated by what you're doing on your channel and the way you see things. And this is such a treat for me that you were on the show. I really hope you guys will check out her videos. I know you're not gonna just focus on narcissism,
yeah.
but I think it's an important topic, and there have even been like legal cases and stuff in the news in the last year that I think maybe had that at the heart of the problem that created the need for somebody to sue somebody. So I know Dr. Lund, I commented earlier, I'd love to see maybe the two of you get together and do some kind of a collaboration. I know she's very knowledgeable too when it comes to narcissism, and that's her background, is psychiatry
Yeah.
and therapy. And what a fun collaboration that could be if you guys maybe did something together. So I just thank you for being here. I hope you like your backdrop.
Oh, it's beautiful,
Um,
everything. It is reminding me of my youth, as a matter of fact.
I hunted and hunted and had a couple of other images I thought I would use, and then this one popped up, and I thought, no, this speaks to me too. And I'm not even from Maine, so anyway, so I thank you. I will be excited to watch your channel continue to grow. I'll be excited for your fiction novel to come out, and whatever other books you have in the queue that are going to be published at some point. And I just thank you for the work you're doing and the lives that you're touching through your channel.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and thank you for having me. And I want to say
Yes.
thank you to your audience for tuning in. So grateful.
Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. If you want to hang around, I'd love for you to hang around. If you guys have questions for her in the chat, even questions about her channel or just her as a person, you can post those there. And if you have to run, I can always relay stuff to you at some point, and we'll just get to know you a little bit better. But thanks again.
I can stick around. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. I want to spin for channel of the week right quick, and then we're going to bring Brittany up. So let me get my channel of the week wheel going. Share my screen. All right. And for anybody that may be new here, my channel of the week spin is always just with the hope that I might introduce you to a channel that's new to you. These are channels to which I am subscribed, except for all the Eagle live streams that I like to watch. You guys know that's important to me. I will share some Eagle news with you here right after we finish spinning. So let's get this spin done and see who we get. Oh, there's Rich New Design. So there's a little interesting and maybe a little bit ironic spin there. Yeah, you guys check him out. Not sure yet what's going on with him. I'll let you know if I hear back from him. He's one of the channels, one of the content creators to whom I sent a note to check on him since we haven't seen him online for a while. But that's our channel of the week this week. And then regarding eagles, many of you may know I've shared about Harriet at the Southwest Florida nest, my heart nest, the favorite nest, the nest that started it all for me. She's been missing from the nest since the afternoon of February 2nd. This is not typical. It's not typical for her. It's not typical for eagles in general because they have now the babies are about 5 weeks old, but she left behind 2 4-week-old eaglets. Now, Dad M15 is doing a an unbelievable, it's almost an unbelievable job that he's doing. She trained him well. He's much younger than she was. And he's keeping the babies fed and protected. And I think they're supposed to have some bad weather this weekend. So we'll see how he can manage, sheltering them from the elements while he tries to hunt and feed and also feed himself and sleep and bathe and get his exercise. But y'all be prayerful about that because that little nest means a lot to me. The eagles in general mean a lot to me. But there's good still. There's another nest where the eagle was injured. I think she was hit by a car. She had to be she was taken into rescue. She had to have surgery on a really badly broken wing. She will never fly again, so she can't be released back into the wild to be with her mate. And they've been together a long time. They've raised a lot of babies together. And so he had to find a new mate, which he did. Her name is Rose. This is Ron and Rita at the Wildlife of Dade County Rescue, or the Wildlife Rescue of Dade County. She just laid 2 eggs within the last 5 days. So they are laying eggs. Now she's just a 4-year-old eagle. So I don't know how that works. Typically they don't lay their first eggs until they're 5. And you can tell the age because she still has some brown feathers in her head. But I'm prayerful about that one too, because that would be a sweet ending to that little story. And then Rita, the previous mate that can't be released into the wild again, is just going to live with a sanctuary. So she'll have a good life and she'll be fed and protected and loved on, but she can't go back to her partner, Ron. So that's enough about eagles. I'm going to bring Brittany up now. So let's make sure Brittany's not like picking her nose or flossing her teeth or anything right now. How are you? Oh, and we
Good,
have Bentley. This is Brittany and Bentley. Hey, Bentley. I'm so tickled that you're with Mama. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. What's weather doing there in Missouri?
It's a little chilly.
Okay.
We're trying not to talk about it.
Did you get I think it was maybe Tuesday this week, and a band of like tornadoes and storms went through Mississippi and Louisiana and stuff? Did that swing up your way?
The rain did.
Okay.
But we didn't get any severe weather or anything.
Okay. And how does the rain impact? I know you guys have like construction projects going on up there.
We do. The roof is on and we have a 2-foot overhang around the whole house. So if you can work inside the house, you're pretty good.
Okay.
But
and I hear Big K.
Yeah, he's in here.
Okay. You still don't want to be on camera?
You've been talking about Frasier. He's just Vera.
Norm's way. Yeah.
Well, let's make your introductory video happen today, Big K. That would be nice. You can at least just lean your head in the camera a second and let us know. Yes, okay, he's real.
He is real.
He's real. So I like to start with some questions about the channel. We focus more on your YouTube life, and then cross into just some stuff about you and Big K, and who you are as people. My first question is always, what motivated you to start your channel?
What motivated me was we moved down to Missouri, which is away from, I have family spread out all over the country, but not a lot in Southwest Missouri. So it was more so to let them kind of know what was happening. And it's kind of blown up from there.
Okay.
So it was mainly family and friends back home so that they could keep up with everything. But
did you grow up farming or gardening or
no,
raising chickens or?
I did grow up with my great grandmother was born in 1920. So she went through the Great Depression, and so I did a lot of gardening with her, and we got water from a spring, and we did all that kind of stuff, but I didn't grow up with animals and my immediate family, we didn't really garden, but my great grandmother did.
Okay. And plans for a garden. Do you have crops in mind already, or have you already planted some stuff?
I have onions planted and garlic planted. I have potatoes coming, and then I have to do a lot of green beans because this guy eats green beans right off the vine. He picks them himself. But we do a lot of the normal garden crops, cabbage, cucumbers, tomatoes, kohlrabi. Big K and Kaylani like kohlrabi a lot.
Okay.
So I've found out a lot down here. A lot of people sell tomatoes, but they don't sell everything else you need to make sauces and salsa and stuff. So I guess that's my niche.
Okay. And so the little dog you guys just heard barking, many of you have met him in some of our videos. That's Harley. He's a boarder with us. He's been here many times. And I couldn't say anything about it before now because his dad contacted me earlier in the week and asked if there was any possibility he could spend the night, that Harley could spend the night with us because they were going to be going out of town. So I thought, which we would never say no to Harley, but I got to thinking how odd that it was Dad that messaged me, because it's always been just me and the mom that set up dates. And I thought, well, you know what? Valentine's Day is coming. She's probably not the one I need to message with the invoice to pay for the session. So I sent him a message and I said, I kind of thought maybe you have a surprise happening and that's why you reached out. And he hadn't thought to tell me that, but he was so thankful that I didn't spoil it, earlier in the week to say, here's the invoice for Harley's visit this weekend. So, but that's little Harley. So you'll see some more videos of him. And hopefully he's just excited again. So Richard had come home earlier when I told you guys he was home. He came home, but then he went right back out because he had to go to the feed store. So now he's back. So that's why we had 2 rounds of barking. What was the first video you published on the channel and what was it about?
Oh boy. Oh, it was us. Right after we bought the land, we came and camped on it, and it was showing my family what we had bought.
Sweet. How many acres do you have?
We have a little over 2.
Okay. And I don't see like a lot of trees on the property when I look at the videos, but does that mean you have a good night sky view, or is there a lot of light pollution? Or are you away from lights enough? Okay.
It gets very dark here.
Oh,
yes.
I might have to come visit you.
And the plan is to line the fence line with fruit trees and fruit bushes.
Oh, sweet. So
there will be trees eventually.
Okay. Yeah, it struck me a few videos in that I didn't see a lot of trees. And when I think of having some property and no trees, because we've got a nice open space right out in the middle of the back pasture where I can actually see the sky, but we're still too close to town. There's so much light pollution here.
Lights?
If the clouds are east of us, you can kind of see stuff.
Big K says he can kind of see lights from a town. Okay, we live in a county that's like 13,000 people big. Okay. So when I say the little city, he can kind of see lights if it's a cloudy night and
it's reflecting.
It's reflecting off.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we still see a lot of lights here, so we have to drive out a little ways to actually get a good night sky view. So day jobs, when you're not doing YouTube or building structures and things, do you have day jobs? You go to an office somewhere or work on a computer from home? Okay.
Not yet.
And do you share in creating the videos? I know you're usually filming when I see your videos, but does Big K do any of the filming or help you come up with ideas or editing? Or
he has very immediate ideas. So my very first driving short, it was him going, hey, film this. So he does a lot of like, do it now. He does help me come up with titles sometimes. So.
Oh, and Bentley, Jason, your very first short was me.
Yeah. The short that I have back in Minnesota in our old house with Bentley chasing the Arby's bag around the kitchen, that was Big K's idea.
Yeah. Well, I started to say the more animals you get, you may discover that you just have to be ready to on the spot record stuff because you can't predict when something funny or interesting or weird is going to happen.
I'm only 28 years old, but I never got into the my phone was the center of my life. And so the phone being the center of my life is a little different for me.
Yeah. Again, I think you get those chickens in, you may start seeing some stuff. We're going, okay, I just need to keep the phone with me all the time because
I think with the chickens, Big K, that's going to be where he sits and have his morning coffee. So he might just need to have a camera ready.
He may be in charge of that. Okay, yeah. So Big K and the chicken content. Okay.
Well, now your last guest has me questioning the caffeine thing.
I just felt compelled to have her share that information with everyone. What do you watch on YouTube? I always imagine that a content creator does watch at least some content that's from their same niche. And I wonder if you guys wonder, why do I say niche? So I speak French, took a lot of French, growing up, not a whole lot of places to use it here in Texas. I've always pronounced it that way. That's all I can say is that I think that's probably why I say it that way. But I'm guessing you watch other videos, other channels in your niche. But what do you like to watch that maybe isn't homestead related?
I get a lot of my weather from Ryan Hall.
Yep. Love him.
Y'all.
Yeah, Ryan Hall, y'all. He's on the wheel. He may come up one day.
What else do I?
You watch young couples with their kids.
I watch a lot of documentaries too.
Okay.
And a lot of homesteading. So I have my own homesteading channels that I watch, and then Big K has his. So he'll play his and I'll listen to his, and then I watch my own. But yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of time watching what YouTube tells me to watch, I guess. Okay. Just random.
Do either of you watch much TV or, Netflix or streaming
We stuff? Don't have a TV right now.
Okay. That could be a blessing,
We are right now into, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of The Chosen.
Uh-huh.
But we do that.
So along those lines, I am listening to all of the Left Behind books on audiobook, just chronologically.
Oh,
which is only bad because when I put the first one on, I like to listen to books, audiobooks or old time radio to fall asleep at night. That first book started, I couldn't sleep. And I thought, okay, this is a dilemma because I need to hear the story. It's not just background noise to shut my brain off. I want to hear the story. So the books are fantastic. The couple of movies that I've watched, I didn't really like them much, but wow, the stories are amazing. So I haven't watched The Chosen yet. I know they did a live stream event on YouTube just in the last week or so, and it's in my watch later. Y'all have so much stuff in my watch later list. It's not even funny. And I did want to say hello to John Pedroza at Pedroza Travel, who's in the chat. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Jim Almeida, hello. How are you? Thank you for being here. I know some of the names that are new to me are going to be because it's people that that came to you.
Jim is like one of my very first non-family subscribers.
Sweet.
Hi, Jim.
So he's been there from the beginning.
Well, he's here today too. So, do you plan to get a TV?
Oh, we have them.
Oh,
the motorhome doesn't have one like mounted,
Okay.
and we don't really watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll probably put one up, but I don't know how often you'll see us in front of it.
Okay.
Just add
Yeah,
something like
we
the
gave
movie.
up cable and Netflix probably 4 years ago. We do still have Amazon because I mean I shop on Amazon, and so we have Amazon Prime, so we have Prime Video.
We had
which
the
by
Fire Stick before we moved.
Yeah, which by the
But-
way, I watched a movie on Amazon Prime last night called What We Know. It was a good little movie. This little group of kids, a girl at their high school gets killed, and there's some fishy stuff going on with one of the cops in the police department, and so they just take it upon themselves to go find her. I don't want to spoil anything. I just really thought
Wow.
it was a neat movie, well done. A happy ending, sort of, except that the one girl from their school got killed. But anyway, so shout out for what we know, I think is what it's called on Amazon Prime. But I have not missed TV. I have not missed having
No,
cable,
not at
or
all.
I don't like to watch the news anymore.
Nope.
I have not liked watching the news for a long time, and I feel like that was a primary purpose of the TV, was that we would watch the news. Well, when I decided I didn't watch news anymore, we didn't watch a whole lot of TV. So we're happy to have our few little streaming opportunities with YouTube and Amazon Prime, and I think I have Peacock or something too, but I don't even know the last time I watched it. So what has so far, what's your favorite thing about YouTube? And then I'm also going to ask, what's your least favorite thing about YouTube?
I think my favorite thing about YouTube is the immediate community and the immediate answer you can get. You know, I post a video about I want chickens. I know I want chickens, but I don't know what breed. And instantly I get emails, comments with all of these people that are, this is what I know about this breed. This is what I've experienced with this. This is what, that's awesome. I love that. What do I like least about YouTube? I don't know. I've never really had anything funny happen. I know you're probably going to ask about that too. I've never had any terrible emails or anything like that.
Well, and maybe it won't happen. I don't know that it happens for
Yeah.
everyone. I had somebody tell me one time that when you start getting those bots in your chat, or those like adult site bots in your chat, somehow that's like almost a good thing, because then you've grown to the point
Right.
where, oh wow,
bots
like
have
more
found you.
people, yeah, now the bots even
Yeah.
know about you.
Yep.
So I think it may have happened once or twice for me in a live stream that one of those things came up, but a moderator took care of it really quickly, so thank you for that. Hello, Devil Dog. So Devil Dog is having problems. He says he can't hear anything, but he can read the chat. So I don't know if after we go video on demand, if it'll automatically put closed captions in, but maybe that would be an option if you have to go back and watch with the closed captioning. Let me get back to my list of questions here. If you could collaborate with any other YouTuber, like maybe it's somebody, it doesn't have to be somebody in your same niche, even, just if you could collaborate with any other YouTuber to create a project, who would it be?
Ooh. I like Becky with Acre Homestead, but I think a good project that would mean a lot to me would be something to do to help veterans. So maybe like a Jocko Willick or Clint Emerson, somebody like that.
I just realized I forgot to change the background for you. Did you see the background I made for you?
I did. That is awesome.
So I borrowed that picture off of your Instagram. I found that picture on your Instagram. So yeah, so I like to ask that question only because, well, for several reasons. There's a lot of potential for meeting new people
Mhm.
by doing collaborations. But it
Yeah.
also, I just think, kind of sparks your creativity center, you know, to
Yeah.
think about, yeah, what kind of an idea? What's something I could do, and what would it mean to me, and where could
Yeah,
I take it?
the moving out to Missouri and getting a bigger garden and chickens and expanding to the point where I can share is because I've taken like a personal offense to some of the medical issues that have come about in the last 70 years.
Uh-huh.
And so I've gotten really into the nutrition aspect of things. So doing something like that would be cool too.
Nice, nice. So I know you grow a lot of your own food. What is your favorite food or favorite kind of food?
Anything smoked.
I'm pretty easy. I like steak, potatoes, and asparagus. I mean, I like fruit. I was a kid that my great grandmother she made us try everything at least once. So, and then my aunt took that over. So I like everything. I mean, I don't like mushrooms. I
Okay.
am not a fan of fungus.
Okay.
But broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. I think
Cabbage and
my
bacon.
favorite food, if I had to pick one thing that I could eat for the rest of my life, it would probably be peanut butter.
Okay.
But I don't make my own peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, yet. Big K's over here, yet.
Hello, Grace and Fire. Thanks for being here today. Does KK ever get on camera?
She will. She just doesn't. I'm sitting on the little dinette in the motorhome, and she doesn't really like that confined. She's not a real
Okay.
confined space or real. She doesn't like to be hung on like this guy does.
Okay.
This guy likes to cuddle. She's more. I think it's because she's a border collie lab mix, so she's got that longer hair, and it gives her static.
Oh, could
So
be.
she's kind of a leave me alone kind of.
So see, you guys will have to check out Brittany and Big K's channel to see KK. Bentley's going to be here,
video.
but you're
Yeah,
going to have
Bentley.
to check her out. You're
Bentley's
going to have to check
chilling
out the
over.
videos to see KK.
I'm rubbing
Look
his
at him.
ears, putting him to sleep.
Look at him. He's awesome. Do you consider yourself to be more of an introvert or an extrovert? Please put on.
Had you asked me pre-COVID, I would have told you an extrovert. But now I've kind of, I don't know. What would you say?
Compared to me?
The human race. I don't know. I've
Thank
kind of
goodness
gotten to
for
the point.
chickens. Woo, let's hear it for
I've
chickens.
gotten to the point where I don't deal with stupid very well.
Okay.
Wow.
So the rural Missouri, I'm okay with. But like, you try to take me to Kansas City and
Crowds get to her.
yeah, crowds get to me. Crowds have gotten to me for a long time.
Okay.
But
do you have any projects in the works? I know we're going to be seeing the updates on the stuff that you're building and getting the flock built.
Yep.
But any other ideas that you've been rolling around in your head that you want to share with us?
you have any other ideas?
Finish the house, fence the property,
Other than
build
that.
the chicken coop.
Other than that.
Wow. Oh, I want to build lean-tos on the shed.
Big K wants to build lean-tos.
Okay.
We are going to the Ozark Homestead meetup. We're doing that.
There's a live stream. There's a live stream opportunity for you there. Do something live from the meetup.
Yep.
You
That
did
would be
good
cool.
on your first live this week.
That was nerve-wracking.
I think it went so beautifully. Do you consider yourself more artistic or more analytical?
Analytical.
Okay.
100%.
And so regarding just you, I mean, I can ask for each of you. Do you have siblings?
I have a little sister. She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay. And Big K?
A little sister 4 years younger than me.
Big K has a little sister 4 years younger than him.
Is there any headbutting that goes on with two oldest being in the same place at the same time? Been there, done that.
We work well together. We have our
We
own.
used to work together.
I can cook if it's a recipe. I do the baking. He can't bake. He doesn't follow recipes well.
Guidelines.
But he can do like a spur of the moment. I don't know. I've never shown you guys this, but like Big K can pick up a can of black beans and he can be like, I can make this work. And he can make something that's good and edible. I have to have like a recipe.
Okay.
He will put stuff on the counter and be like, okay, cook this. And I'm like, what? Cook what?
Again, what a great video idea. I'm seeing that video in my head as you're talking about it.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you put that in and then put this in and then put this in and just cook it. And I'm like, how did you come up with this?
See, we're the opposite. I don't cook with recipes. I don't sew with patterns, but Richard needs a recipe.
Yep.
So when he does do a recipe, I'm going to record him making this one dish that I think he said he found it on TikTok. It's amazing. And he does a great job every time he makes it. He loves it enough. I think he would eat it every night, but again, there's a recipe and he watched the video. I just will do, sounds like kind of like Big K. Well, I've got a can of this and I've still got a package of this in the freezer. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to put some of this in it. Oh, and those are sometimes some of the best meals. My experimental meals sometimes turn into some of our favorites.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll just go grab like 3 random things and be like, here. And he makes something out of it.
There's a whole series.
Makes no sense to me.
There's a whole playlist for your channel just waiting right there. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So
I've had some go terribly wrong though too.
Well, but that's part of the fun is when it doesn't work every now and then, and then that way somebody doesn't have to make that same mistake themselves.
Well, when he does that, I make him try it first. I'll sit there with my plate and, I'll kind of stir it around and he'll be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, waiting for you. And he'll try it and he'll be like, oh, never mind. Don't eat that.
Oh, wait,
don't eat that.
So what are your goals for the channel? How do you ultimately see yourself when people come to visit you? What is it you would represent?
Ultimately, I would love for me to be everybody else's guinea pig so that they can grow their own food and we can get rid of diabetes, heart disease. I want people to see that it's possible and then do it for themselves and then have all these people going, I got rid of my diabetes. I got rid of my whatever it is. And just a healthier
How about I'm scared to
population.
Build a house and if she can do it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to build a house, but a 5'7", stop talking, 100-pound, she can do it, so can I.
Sweet. That's a beautiful goal. And now you get the if you're stranded on an island, what 3 things do you want to have with you?
Probably Big K, because he will bring some kind of scoot bag. So we will have everything we need. The dogs and a chicken, because then we have egg protein right away.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you are very analytical, aren't you? Hello, Connie Cleary. Thanks for being here today. Let me make sure I haven't missed anyone else in the chat. And there's Ashley at CNC Farm. Thank you. I want to say thank you again to Ashley for giving me the heads up about you and your channel. I'm enjoying your channel.
She has been instrumental in the growth of my channel.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I just want to point out to you guys again that that's true about Ashley. Ashley is a cheerleader, and Ashley finds opportunities to encourage and raise people up. And if you can't put the 2 and 2 together to see that her channel is growing by leaps and bounds, I just want, if you're a content creator, I want you to understand that that's part of why she is experiencing the success that she has, because she pays it forward. She shares what she has, and she is, taking channels under her wing and carrying them along on the ride, And so just a shout out for you there, Ashley. I want you guys to check out her channel again. As always, I want you guys, anyone in my chat that has a channel, please check it out. This is part of the fun of live streaming and meeting new people, because I'm confident saying everyone that comes to visit my channel, every channel that's in my chat is a quality channel. Hint, hint, hint. I still wish more of you would contact me to get on the show. I still would love to have more of you introduce yourselves and let us know you beyond what we can see just by watching your videos. For those of you that are not content creators, that means the world to me too, that you come here to support me and support the people that I have on the show, because it's that's how we grow. That's how we grow. I mean, it's true anywhere. Networking, that concept is important anywhere. If you want to succeed, if you want to grow, then YouTube is no different. By networking and, meeting new people, introducing yourself to new people, everybody wins. So there is my friend Dino from the Late Late Horror Show. Thank you for being here today, Dino. How are you? Hope you and the kids are well and happy. I see Just Doing Our Best in the channel. This is Brian and Shirley. Which reminds me, I just filmed today because I got an Amazon package, which turned out to be another item from our Amazon wish list that we desperately needed. We had just run out of this particular thing. And lo and behold, it was sent to us by someone on our wish list. So I just finished recording a mail call that will go up on the channel tomorrow. And Brian and Shirley at Just Doing Our Best are on it, because we got mail from them. So shout out to everyone in my channel. And now let me get back to my questions. Are you on other social media? Like as a channel?
I have an Instagram and a Facebook, because Facebook is the only way things get done here in rural Missouri. Okay. I assume that CNC Farm can attest to that. And then I have an Instagram, but I'm not as religious as I should be about it.
Okay.
That's one of my phone's never been the center of my.
Oh, right.
Still working on that.
Right. Well, I do think they kind of go hand in hand, but I also don't remember often to use that, to take advantage of what that might do for our channel. But I think if I did, all I would probably be doing is like sharing links, or, I tried for a little while. I was doing some, like I would put a short on Instagram and Facebook, but I just didn't feel like those things they weren't helping each other much. I can say that I don't feel like Facebook posting has really had any impact at all on our channel. It's been more,
no. My Facebook has just been research for around here, getting things, finding people, electricians, plumbers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's been more so, but it's all under the same name.
Yeah. So there are still some videos that I share there. Sometimes it's, it's not the YouTube video, it's just the video itself. And then sometimes I share a YouTube link for a video. But again, I don't feel like it's really had any impact at all. But we have people that just don't do YouTube. So there are people that enjoy our Facebook page that they just don't do YouTube. So, did I already ask you the question about if you were famous, what would you be famous for? So if you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Why are you rolling your eyes?
No, I can't wait to hear this.
Here comes. Wait, what did he say?
Big K has this thing. What he said was beating old men up. But he has this thing where back in Minnesota, little story. We went to the grocery store, and he has a bad habit of when he goes to pay, he doesn't pay attention to the card reader. And so he'll stick his card in, and then he'll start talking, and they're waiting for him to put it, And so I'll be like, hey, focus, do your, as I'm bagging groceries. And he looked at me and he goes, please don't take my meds away again. And this cashier was an older lady, and she gave me the dirtiest look. And I literally just looked back at him and I said, why would I want you unmedicated? But she was like convinced that I somehow he does it a lot. He does that a lot.
Well, that's
So
what
anyway,
he
what do
was
you got
famous
for
for.
Don't
Then,
beat me please don't beat me tonight. I didn't mean it.
There's your claim to fame, Big K.
So
Professional victim.
if I were famous, I don't know, probably for bringing to life again the let food be your medicine.
Medicine be.
I'd love for that to happen.
But I don't know, doing
love for
something
that
with
to happen.
dogs. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should write books about Bentley. I don't know. I don't think I'm creative enough for that, but we do have very funny Bentley stories.
Yeah,
so.
write them from his perspective. That could be fun. It could be fun.
It would be.
And Sparrow can put you in touch with a great editor.
Publisher, yeah.
Yeah, publisher, editor, yeah.
Yeah.
So see, we're just waiting for the material now. Yeah. You don't know if you don't try.
Right.
So Chad, if you guys have questions for Brittany or Big K, let me know. I'm going back to my list here.
Yes, please ask Big K very hard questions.
No.
What is the purpose of living?
Wow. To get to the other side.
To get to the other side, he says.
Okay.
To be the chicken and cross the road.
Yeah. What is something you always keep in the back of your mind when you are creating a video or filming a video, or
that I have to end it properly, otherwise I get talked to.
Oh, please.
What does that mean to have a proper ending?
If I forget the on your way back down the hill, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that little bell notification.
Okay.
And if I don't say I appreciate y'all, if I forget the y'all, I get talked to.
It's like get used to it. It's like my favorite part.
You didn't end it right. And then I gotta go, okay, I'm sorry. I'll do it better next time.
It'll become second nature at some point, and he'll have to find something else to point at.
Yeah, the way she ends her videos makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Okay, so it's good then to have a person then that's helping and offering a critique, for lack of a better word.
And now one of his people that he watches has started ending his videos with y'all, and he's like, I wonder if he's watching you.
Hello, Nora, the Stock Explorer. Thank you for being here today. You guys need to check out her lives. Those are good. That's good stuff there. Let me get back to my list. And so when you want, I keep saying, let me get back to my list because I have it up on this same screen so that I don't have to look over here to see it. But then every time I click on the chat or something on this screen, then it goes away. And then I have to go down and open it up again.
Can't you split screen?
Maybe I could, but my vision is not that good, so I need stuff as big as it can be. I was so excited when Richard bought me this computer for my birthday last year because it's a big screen, and so everything is just a whole lot easier for me to see.
Well, now he needs to give you 2 monitors.
No, I have another monitor.
Oh.
But again, when I put stuff on this other monitor, then I have to look over here, and I just try not to do that so much. But what would you most like for subscribers or people watching the stream today, or that just visit your channel and they haven't decided to subscribe yet? What would you most like for people to know about you?
This isn't perfect. This is 100%. I am 100% a guinea pig science experiment. So I've gardened before, so I think certain things are going to work. And now we're in the state of Missouri. So this is going to be a whole new learning curve. I have never had chickens before. But I want chickens. So we're going to see how that goes. Big K thinks chickens are hilarious. So we're going to find that out together. But yeah, this isn't a perfect science.
what my dad used to say.
What? Which one of your dad's quotes are you inserting here?
You can always serve as a bad example.
Oh, I can yeah, you're never useless. You can always serve as a bad example.
Okay, yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, you guys will go far.
Chances
That's
are.
great. Yeah, just keeping it real. That's good. That's awesome. Let me get back. Sometimes I ask the questions out of order, and so that's part of why I have to find my place again. So when you're not working on the channel or building anything, what do you like to do? Do you have hobbies? What do you do with your downtime, if there's any?
Big K motorcycles. So I ride. I don't drive.
Okay.
I am, you can't tell, but I am a pretty big foodie. So I like trying new foods, new places. We do a lot of walking, hiking. We live around lakes and trails, and so we do a lot of that. We hang out with these guys a lot. Can you say hi to the people? We do a lot with the dogs.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out a way to motorcycle with the dog.
There's sidecars.
That'd be a bad idea.
Get your sidecar. I'm sure they have them on Amazon. Hello, Millionaire Paul. Thanks for being here today. So I did want to ask you too, have you decided on what breeds of chickens you're going to have?
I did. I ordered 12 female barred rocks, 1 male barred rock, and 12 female buff Orpingtons. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Okay.
And then we have 25 Cornish coming.
Oh, sweet. So is the pen ready?
No.
When are they coming?
May 8th.
Okay. All right. And what hatchery did you decide to go with?
One down by you.
I think it's down in Texas, Ideal Poultry.
Yeah, that's where we get our ducklings when we've ordered ducklings. Yeah, they're awesome.
They're awesome. The one that had the closest date. I could get everything. So
sweet. I'm glad that worked out then. And then now, livestock guardian dogs. Have you settled on a breed?
I think we've hashed it out. I think we're going with, for livestock guardian dogs, Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
I think we've decided on that. Now the question is, are we going with one of those and one that's more property people oriented? Or are we going with 2 of those?
And are you going to get puppies? Or are you going to...
We're going to get puppies, or at least young.
Okay.
Big K is okay with them if they're on a farm to wait a little longer so that they get used to it and they get trained by the older dogs and then come here.
Okay.
But what I really want is for them to get here really close to the time that we get the chicks.
Right.
So that they're together right away.
Right. You have names picked out already? Do you want boys? Do you want girls? One of each?
I like boy dogs. Big K likes girl dogs. We might end up with one of each.
Okay.
I don't know.
And are you going to branch out into other animals besides chickens? Because the chickens will be for eggs, right?
Right.
But you'll also raise meat birds?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we've kind of talked on 2 acres. We think the only other thing that makes sense would be sheep.
Okay.
Or goats.
Okay.
Big K is not a huge fan of goats.
Okay.
So
the meat or the animal?
The goat itself.
Okay. But little baby goats, Big K, you can put them in pajamas and do videos.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He doesn't let me put the dogs in pajamas.
If you haven't watched any baby goats in pajamas videos, you need to check that out. Whatever might be stressing you out or making you sad or unhappy will all be gone when you watch baby goats in pajamas jumping around in somebody's video. Hello, Dave Plouffe. How are you? Thanks for being here today. So do you have questions for me? Do you have questions for anyone in the chat?
You have questions?
Oh, I needed all kinds of help with that building.
With what building?
The house.
Oh. Big K's always over stressing about the house. I don't think so.
Well,
do
you've
you have
You've had some
chickens?
storms. No, we just raised ducks and geese. So just for eggs.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
You've had storms and things come through, right? Since you started building the house?
Yes.
And it's still standing, right?
Yeah, we did something
So
right.
I would just hold on to that. No need to stress about it.
If you could see my to-do list.
I did look up the wax method.
Uh-huh.
For
Again, I don't know
chickens.
if it'll work for chickens.
It doesn't seem
Okay.
to be like it's the go-to thing to do.
Okay.
So
Did you look up MST3K?
I did. Neither one of us had ever heard of it. So
Did you watch any episodes?
I did watch one. Yes.
Uh-huh. What'd you think?
I am very realist. I struggle with the sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Oh, I gotta watch this.
I struggle quite a bit with even like Harry Potter and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it takes me a while to actually get into it, and so we'll see.
There's not enough room in there for artistic.
Yeah. Some of the movies they do are not so sci-fi-ish. So if it's still something you want to look at, you could go find another. There's one that's funny called Catalina Caper. The movie is called Catalina Caper. So it's like a crook is stealing something, but they make fun of that one. So that there's no sci-fi in that one. And do you guys travel? Have you traveled beyond moving from Minnesota to Missouri?
Yes. We traveled quite a bit before we made this move. We've been down to Florida, over to Yellowstone.
Uh-oh, where's Adam? Adam and I have a joke about Yellowstone. Did you hear that, Adam? They've been to Yellowstone. You'd have to be there, but there's a running thing that goes with me and Adam about Yellowstone, but it has to do with the TV show Yellowstone.
Oh.
So you just made the stream for him. You just made his day by saying something about going to Yellowstone. Have you been outside the country?
Yes, both of us have. He has been with the military, and I have been to, the only place I remember being was Jamaica.
Okay.
But I've been to Canada when I was really little.
Okay. What branch of the military, Big K?
Navy.
Okay. Thank you for your service. We're a Marine Corps family. Yeah, we're a Marine Corps family.
Yeah, hoorah.
Richard and our youngest son, Gerald, both served. Gerald is a combat veteran. And my dad and grandfather.
Overwatch for Marines. So.
What's that?
I provided Overwatch for Marine units a few times in my life. So.
You guys have to have each other. So I thank you for that. And
Go Crayon.
I don't think I have any more questions for you though. So I'm going to be excited to watch you grow. You're going to be on my little spreadsheet now for all eternity. So we'll be celebrating milestones as they are crossed. And if you ever need anything, I'm here.
I actually do have questions.
What do you have a question?
Can I ask a question?
You can, yes.
All right. Is there what do you suggest for like consistently posting at the same time every week, or?
I think that does, once you've established kind of your subscriber base, I do think that's helpful. But sometimes you have to mix it up or experiment with different times. I don't know if you are aware, and I can pull this up on my analytics, but when you go to YouTube analytics, where you can see your views and things like that. Let me pull that up, and then I'll show you a place that I think is really important for deciding when to post and, how consistent you need to be. Let me share my screen. I'll show that to you guys.
I've acquired a Bentley jacket here.
This was very interesting and eye-opening to me when I came across it. And I think I learned about it actually from Motivation from the Weightlifting Geek. I'm probably now saying his channel name wrong, and I've known him like most of my YouTube life here. But this is the analytics page. So when you first go to analytics, it defaults to the overview tab. If you scroll over to the audience tab, it takes you to this page. So this will give you some information on which of your recent videos. Well, this defaults to the last 90 days. Which videos are growing your audience? So usually that has to do with number of views and engagement, people leaving comments and liking and sharing. But then farther down, this box with all the purple things in it, this is a little graph of when your viewers, when the people who are subscribed to your channel, the people that view your videos, when they are on most often. So like here, see for Sunday, the darker purple color, 4 o'clock on Sundays, very many of my viewers are on YouTube. At 2 o'clock on Sunday, though, only many of my viewers are on YouTube. And when we get earlier in the morning, at 5 a.m., say on a Sunday morning, few of my viewers are on YouTube. So you do want to try to hit these spots where you know that, oh, you know what? Look, this shows that most of our viewers are on YouTube on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. or whatever. Let's start putting up videos. Hey, they're already here. So your hope is that they have set their notifications to be aware of when you post a new video.
Right.
And then their notification will pop up. You know, their notification will pop up and they'll go, oh, wow, look, there's a new video over at Flannel Hill Farm.
Yeah.
So I think that's fun. But I do think because there are patterns of visiting, that it's important to try to cater to those patterns. You don't want to post on a day where none of your people are on anyway.
Right.
You know, and then wonder, well, why is nobody watching? How come nobody watched this video? Maybe because you put it up on Saturday at 8 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would use that and then kind of go with that. That does change from time to time. And I do, again, periodically experiment with, you know, let's see if I put this video here, maybe it's 2 different times of the day when many of my viewers are on. One video, I thought, more people would watch it. Post another video on a different day or a different time of that day when many viewers are on. Oh, and it does get more engagement. So, but I do think it's important. I do think it's helpful for your audience to know what to expect from your channel.
Right.
You know, I would never suggest, like, don't put it in your about section. We post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Because then if something ever happens and, you know, you can't do it or something goes wrong with the upload and it won't upload, some goofy thing, then you don't want people going, oh, wonder what happened. What happened to that channel? Are they not making content anymore? So you want to be consistent enough that people can count on it, because there are people, once they really, you know, grow to be part of your little YouTube family here, they'll log on whatever day at whatever time to see, oh, I wonder what they have new today. And I know I'm always kind of bummed when there's a channel that used to always post on whatever day, and then I go and they don't have anything. So
especially when they're in the middle of something like us right
oh
now.
gosh, yeah. So also your community tab, I really encourage you to make good use of that community tab, so you can be sharing links to videos. You can be giving people heads up about upcoming videos, live streams, things like that. You're doing a good job with that so far, but just the more you grow, the more important that becomes, because, you know, when you go to that first page on YouTube where you've got the recommended videos, there's that little section then where it's going to show the community posts from random channels that you're connected to somehow. And sometimes that, for me, that's the first place where I'll see, oh my gosh, they're doing a live stream on Saturday. You know, maybe I had not been at their channel in a few days. I've got my little cycle of visiting channels and watching videos to try and stay caught up with everyone. And if I haven't been to their channel a while, to know that they've got a live coming up. I also really encourage doing premieres and live streams. I don't think any channel really can go long term, you know, with just live streams. Not in this niche. There are lots of niches where that works great. But I think in the homesteading niche, having a combination of long form videos, shorts, and live streams is good. But take advantage of, like, are you using StreamYard? Well, you're using StreamYard now because that's the link I sent you. But when you live streamed the other day, was it StreamYard? No. Okay. So if that streaming service you used also works like StreamYard, you can go in and create the stream ahead of time, put a thumbnail on it, even, you know, however it lets you do it. And then as soon as you save it with the date and time for a future broadcast, then it automatically goes onto the homepage at YouTube.
Okay.
And says, you know, coming up on 2/17. I think I have next Friday's video. The thumbnail is already there. That stream is already there. And then people, it's just when they visit your channel, they just have the little bug in their ear to remind them, oh yeah, she's going to be live on Thursday or whatever day. So take advantage of that and do premieres. Premieres, I think that's the easiest. Wow. It's like live, but not, because it's a video you've already created. So you're not interacting real time on the screen with people, but you're chatting with people as it's happening. And it just is more meaningful. It's just a better connection.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I try to get to my comments as quickly as possible too.
Yes.
I'm still small enough that I can respond to every one of them.
Yeah, I still do that too. And every now and then I'll get a notification that, you know, so-and-so replied to your comment, or so-and-so hearted your comment. And it's from like 8 months ago.
Yep.
And I think, wow, what does that tell me about that person? That 8 months went by before they even looked at my comment or replied to my comment. So I think, I think that's important too. As much real-time interaction as you can have, or as close to real time as possible, I just think is a great strategy.
Thank you.
All right.
I think I have to open up my YouTube studio page and then just give it to him so he can look at it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, again, you guys look at that together and then experiment with some stuff. All right, I'm going to let you go. We're going to do a couple of other fun things before I turn everybody loose today. But thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Again, I'm going to be excited to share your numbers, your subscriber counts every Friday.
Thank you.
So what you're doing well so far. So keep up with that and keep us posted on happenings around the property.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Brittany. Bye, Big K. Bye, Bentley. Bye, KK. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I want to share, you guys know I like to do at least a little handful of Did You Knows and maybe some on this day stuff. So I want to share at least a little bit of that for you. So our first Did You Know for today. Did you know blinking could serve as mental rest, not eye lubrication? Blinking. So this is new to me. A lot of times when I read these to you guys, it's the first time I'm hearing it as well. The intuitive reason why humans blink so much, 15 to 20 times per minute, is for eye lubrication. But research suggests that it's actually to give our brains a break. Although these breaks only last for a few seconds, they could be giving the brain a chance to go idle and recharge. Blinking. So I'm immediately thinking though of when I watch like the behavior panel and they're analyzing body language, one of the signs of stress is very commonly to blink rapidly, to start blinking rapidly or fluttering your eyes even. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe those people are tired. They're not lying, guys. They're not lying. They're not stressed. They're just tired. And that reminds me of my grandfather who, you know, he'd be taking a nap or nodding off and we would ask him if he was asleep and he would say, no, I'm just resting my eyes. I'm sure a lot of you have heard stuff like that. Did you know you can okay, guys, that's enough. That's enough. Thank you. Did you know you can survive in space without a suit? Well, only for about 15 seconds. It takes that long for humans to lose consciousness in space due to lack of oxygen to the brain. In 1965, a technician who was inside a vacuum chamber and accidentally depressurized his suit. Oh, I missed that comma there. So in 65, that happened. After 12 to 15 seconds, he lost consciousness, but his suit was repressurized at 27 seconds. According to Scientific American, The man recalled the moisture on his tongue beginning to boil, as well as a loss of taste sensation that lingered for 4 days following the accident. Wow. Wow. Did you know there's a secret vault that holds nearly every type of crop seed? I have heard of this. I don't remember where. It's the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, located in one of the coldest corners of the world, an island on the Svalbard archipelago between Norway and the North Pole. This remote location allows the natural permafrost cooling necessary for proper storage of the world's largest collection of crop diversity. If the zombie apocalypse were to become a reality, or just if farmers' fields started to dry out, this seed vault would come to the rescue. Wow, I'll have to do a show on that. Did you know the computer virus Stuxnet, Stuxnet, has been able to cause physical damage? Again, first time I'm reading these, so I have no idea what that means. Stuxnet is the MVP of computer viruses, as it's able to escape, this is a quote, open quote, escape the digital realm to wreak physical destruction on equipment the computers controlled, unquote, per Wired. Also, according to National Geographic, it's been able to unlock computer-controlled locks in prisons. Wow. Wow. Did you know American men spend more time on leisure activities than women? I could tell you that. I don't need this page for that. A 2018 U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics report says that daily men spend 49 minutes doing leisure activities than women. The study found that on average, men spend 5.7 hours a day engaged in leisure activities, compared with 4.9 hours for women. Says that's not on our list of ways women still aren't equal to men, but definitely warrants mentioning. I don't think it has to do with equality. It just has to do with, I don't know, perception, perspective, priorities. One more of these. Do you know why we yawn? The most popular but likely wrong theory is that yawning increases levels of oxygen to the brain. A more plausible, how many of you are getting ready to yawn now because I'm talking about yawning? Hey, Nancy at Our Treasured Home, how are you? Let's see. A more plausible theory, yawning cools the brain down. A study conducted on mice found that as mice sucked in air, their jaws stretched, and this increases blood flow to the brain. This combination of cooler air intake when yawning mixed with the blood flowing to the brain is thought to eventually cool the brain down. So if you're hot-headed, yawn. I'm fighting a yawn, y'all. Talking about yawning. I'm fighting a yawn. Let's do a handful of on this day. The first entry, I like to read the first one just because it's interesting to me, just to think back to these times and to know that somewhere someone kept a record of stuff from so long ago. So on this day, February 10th, in the year 60, St. Paul was thought to have been shipwrecked at Malta. Wow. On this day in 1355, the St. Scholastica's Day riot broke out in Oxford, England, leaving 62 scholars and perhaps 30 locals dead in 2 days. I have never heard of that riot. The St. Scholastica's Day riot. On this day in, let's look at this one, 1716, Scottish pretender to the throne, James III Edward, returns to France. I don't know him. Anybody know him? I guess we just have to take this page's word. This website I use for these is onthisday.com. On this day in 1720, Edmund Halley was appointed as the second astronomer royal at the Greenwich Observatory. So you know Halley. So Halley's Comet, Edmund Halley. On this day in 1778, Voltaire returned to Paris to great acclaim after an absence of 28 years. On this day in 1824, Simón Bolivar was named dictator by the Congress of Peru. On this day in 1837, Russian poet Alexander Pushkin was fatally injured in a duel with French officer Georges Charles de Hicarin Dantes. I don't know what 1/29 OS means, but that's in parenthesis after that. On this day in 1859, General Horsford defeated Begum of Oude and Nana Sahib in Indian Mutiny. I read some of these and the words are coming out of my mouth and I don't even really understand what I'm reading because it's new to me. On this day in 1870, the Young Women's Christian Association, YWCA, formed in New York City. On this day in 1880, Pope Leo XIII published an encyclical Arcanum about Christian marriage. On this day in 1900, Peter Östlund skated the world record 500 meters in 45.2 seconds. On this day in 1914, in accordance with the understanding reached by General J.C. Smuts and Mahatma Gandhi, 60 passive resistance prisoners were released from Pietermaritzburg prison. 40 passive resistors released in Dubon, 8 in Newcastle, and 11 in Port Elizabeth. So a lot of resistance prisoners were released on that day. On this day in 1924, Bucky Harris at 27 became the youngest baseball manager for the Washington Senators. Not the youngest manager for the Washington Senators. He became the youngest manager in general, but it was for the Washington Senators. On this day in 1932, Sweden goes 1-2 in the 18K cross-country event at the Lake Placid Winter Olympics. Sven Uderstrom won the gold ahead of teammate Axel Vilkstrom. 18K. Okay, that's a long way to ski, right? Wow. Oh, yeah. So back to Harley that's visiting with us, the little dog voice that you can hear when they're barking. His dad messaged me, a few days ago to see if we could keep him because he's taking his wife, Stacy, to Colorado for a day of skiing tomorrow for Valentine's Day. Just a little skiing connection there. On this day in 1933, Adolf Hitler proclaimed the end of Marxism. On this day in 1934, the first Jewish immigrant ship to break the English blockade in Palestine happened. Here's some music history. On this day in 1934, Howard Hanson's Mary Mount premiered in New York City. Let's get a little more current. On this day in 1956, the show My Friend Flicka premiered on CBS, later moved to NBC TV. On this day in 1963, the U.S. Female Figure Skating Championship was won by Lorraine Hanlon. On this day in 1964, Australian destroyer HMAS Voyager sank after colliding with aircraft carrier HMAS Melbourne, killing 82. Wow. I should always look at my year, right? So on this day in 1962, Jim Beatty sets the American indoor mile record, 3 minutes 58.9 seconds in LA. I don't know if that means Louisiana or Los Angeles. And now let's move a little more current again. On this day in 1974, the Iran-Iraq border fight broke out. On this day in 1977, a revival of the musical revue A Party with Betty Comden and Adolph Green opened at Morosco Theater, later transferring to the Little Theater in New York City, and ran for 92 performances. On this day in 1979, Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart peaked at number 1. On this day in 1989, the 39th Berlin International Film Festival. Oh, at the 39th International Berlin Film Festival, Rain Man won the Golden Bear. On this day in 1991, La Bête opened at the Eugene O'Neill Theater in New York City for 24 performances. Here's something with Charles Barkley. On this day in 1991, also 41st NBA All-Star Game, Charlotte Coliseum. Okay, so at that game in Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina, East beats West 116 to 114. Charles Barkley, Philadelphia 76ers. I guess an F. Is he a forward? Is a forward a name of a basketball position? On this day in 1996, a bomb explodes in Docklands area of London, ending the 17-month ceasefire. James McArdle is eventually found guilty and jailed for 25 years. On this day in 1998, voters in Maine repealed a gay rights law passed in 1997, becoming the first U.S. state to abandon the law. I don't know what the law was. On this day in 2002, the 51st NBA All-Star Game, First Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. West beats East 135 to 120. The MVP was Kobe Bryant from the LA Lakers. Also an F, a forward. Someone answer if that's what. I know you got centers in football and running backs and wide receivers and quarterbacks and probably some other stuff that I just can't remember right now, but I don't know a lot about the names of basketball positions. Let's see, get to the 2000s here. On this day in 2013, 5 people were killed by a falling lifeboat from the cruise ship Thompson Majesty in the Canary Islands. On this day in 2014, Canadian short track speed skater Charles Hamelin wins his 3rd career Olympic gold medal in the 1,500 meters in Sochi, Vancouver, 2010, 500 meters, and 5,000 meter relay champion. I would hope sometimes when I'm reading these, they make more sense going into your ears than they make coming out of my mouth. On this day in 2019, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar announced her 2020 presidential campaign. Whatever happened to her? On this day in 2021, a 17,000-year-old conch shell was discovered to be the oldest known wind instrument after being reassessed by archaeologists, originally found in Marsulis Cave, Pyrenees. Also on this day in 2021, astronomers confirmed the planetoid named Farfarut as the most distant orbiting the sun, almost 4 times more distant than Pluto. So I just recently learned there are lots of other planets out there beside those, what is that thing? Every good mother. What is that? What is that mnemonic to remember all the planet names? Somebody post that for me. And that was the most current one they have on this page. Here's some events in 2022. I like to read something from January 1st of 2022. Chicago Bulls forward DeMar DeRozan becomes the first player in NBA history to hit buzzer beaters on consecutive days. Hits 3-pointers to beat Washington Wizards 120 to 119, and previous night the Indiana Pacers 108 to 106. And then on this day also, oh, that's funny. That's not on this day. It says that was on January 1st. So when I clicked on this day, obviously it took me someplace I didn't want to go. So you can do what you will with that Chicago Bulls thing I just read to you. But I don't have anything else to share with you guys. I love that you're here. I love that you're here. Have I told you that I love that you're here? I love it that you come to support me, that you come to meet my guests and my friends that are interviewed on the show. I encourage you to check out their channels and show them some love and support. I again want to remind you that if you are a content creator and you'd like to be on the show, send me an email. I have at any given time like 5 or 6 emails that I have sent out. So when I come across new channels, and they tickle my fancy, I'll send an email. Some of the people that get emails, I've known them a long time and I just haven't gotten around to sending them an email. So there's no rules about who can be on the show or how many subscribers you have to have, or if you'd like to be on the show, if you're a content creator and you want to share your channel with us and share yourself with us, I would love to have you on the show. Please, if you haven't checked out Peter Tragos at Lawyer You Know, be ready to go over and enjoy a 200,000 subscriber celebration with him. Please, if you haven't checked out Dino at the Late Late Horror Show, go over and show him some support. Subscribe to the channel, because 100,000 subscribers is, we are on the cusp of 100,000 subscribers. And I would love to announce that at next Friday's show. I would also love to announce that Lee at First Floor Audio has hit 1,000 subscribers. And then there are a couple of other people that are on the list here that are looking. Look, they see that light in the distance of 1,000 subscribers. So there's room for all of us at the top. We lift ourselves up by lifting each other up. That is no more true anywhere, I don't think, now than it is here at YouTube for content creators. It's true in life in general, but I just see it every day that the people that give the most, there are rewards. Everybody wins. So you guys check each other out. Be blessed, be safe, be happy, be well, stay warm. Love to all from Rich Cat Ranch. Be watching for my mail call video that'll go out tomorrow. And hopefully I will figure out who sent this most recent wish list item for us. And that's it. Pray for my Eagles, y'all. Pray for Harriet. I want her to come home. But we just have no idea what's going on. And thanks for being here today. I'll leave the chat open for a minute or so you guys can chat and say your goodbyes. And I appreciate you. Thanks. Oh, one more reminder. We will have a giveaway. There will be gift cards and some of our merch. And I don't know that we've got everything listed yet for when we hit 2,000 subscribers. So we were at 1,920 when I checked stats before the stream today. So once we hit the 2,000 subscribers, be ready for a live stream where we'll give away some prizes. It will be for subscribers only. I learned that lesson when we did our first giveaway. So share us out, share videos, tell your friends, and we'd love to grow our little family with your help. Okay, I'll leave the chat open for a little bit. Bye, guys. Love you.